Welcome to Hong Kong Confidential. I'm Jules and I'm your host. I'm an Australian woman and I've been living in Hong Kong for many years. I'm a mother, a teacher, an author, and I want to share my wisdom and the wisdom of others with you. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hi Confidants, I want to tell you about my Patreon page. I've joined Patreon in the hope of getting sponsorship for my Hong Kong Confidential podcast. Patreon is a great way for my listeners to get on board and sponsor me with monthly payments, and that goes towards my production costs and rewards for my members. If you're interested in checking out my Patreon page, please go to patreon.com and search up Jules Hannaford or Hong Kong Confidential. I would really appreciate you visiting my page. Today I'm here with Lakshmi Laroia and Sonali Laul, who are the organisers of India by the Bay. Hi ladies, thanks for meeting me today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Lakshmi, can you tell me a little bit about what India by the Bay is?
Certainly. So, we started 4 years ago. It is very simply put a festival of India in Hong Kong. And we literally, have a range of programming that covers art, music, literature, food, dance, theatre. We try and give you sort of compact India in a week. So you don't have to, well, you should go there. But if you don't have the time to, you have it right here in Hong Kong.
Oh, it sounds amazing. How did you come up with this concept?
I've been here 20 years and I've worked in film and television and, a lot of cultural activity in India before I came here. And I just felt that there was a lot going on, but it wasn't really international. We had the Hong Kong Arts Festival and you had the Leisure Cultural Services Department doing a few festivals. But I just felt there was, a gap. There was something missing. And then Asia Society Hong Kong Centre, they have the most beautiful campus next to Pacific Place. And that started about 6 years ago. So I harassed them till they finally said, okay, do a festival here. They're brilliant partners. And the whole idea behind Asia Society is mutual understanding of different cultures and the East and West understanding each other and just breaking boundaries through art. And I thought that fit perfectly, and so did they. So there you go. 4 years ago is when we started.
Oh, that's lovely. There's a huge Indian community in Hong Kong, isn't there?
We have about 45,000 Indians in Hong Kong. And what's lovely about Hong Kong, if you just look at simply the schools in which our children study, there'd be something like 56 nationalities studying together. So it's a beautiful blend. I mean, this is a city where you have people coming from all over. So yes, so there are 45,000 Indians amongst that mix.
Oh my gosh, that's a huge number. Do you feel that it's mostly Indian people that attend this festival, or is it really for anybody and everybody in Hong Kong?
It's very much for everybody in Hong Kong. So if you look at the landscape in Hong Kong in terms of cultural festivals, you have various countries presenting. For example, you have the French having their own festival, and you have a diaspora attending that as well as India by the Bay. So you have people who are well aware of what a festival offers you in front of, it's a peek into what India has culturally. So you have different people attending the festival.
What we really want is for Indians come in any case. What we do want is for the rest of the world to come and see the festival. And Julie, what we do have, we partner with Teamwork Arts. They're a company based in India, and they have about, I think, up of 23 festivals over the world.
Lakshmi, can you tell me a little bit more about Teamwork Arts and how you work with them and what they do?
Certainly. Julie, Teamwork Arts is an organization based in India. And I think the jewel in their crown is the Jaipur Literary Festival, which is the biggest literary festival in the world. It is just an amazing concept. And apart from that, they run festivals in India. And I think over 23 festivals all over the world. And when I say all over the world, literally from Australia to Israel, Egypt, America, the UK. And we're just their Hong Kong chapter. And the relationship goes back, 30 years. I think I was giving my age away. But I started working with them when I was 20 for a few years, and they're good friends. And they grew and they grew. So I just thought they were the most, the best people to partner with for this festival. And it's been a great 4 years.
So did you approach them and ask them to sort of support and sponsor the festival?
Well, they've been friends. So, we've been in communication. And before the festival, Julie, what I did with my little company in Hong Kong is we did one-off events with the Leisure Cultural Services Department. We, did of films in Hong Kong. So I've been in touch with them for 20 years, the 20 years that I've been here. But we worked together with the Asia Society to create this, what we hope now is a permanent brand on Hong Kong's cultural landscape. Yeah.
So you're hoping to do it continually once a year?
That's the plan.
How exciting. And is it primarily geared towards children and family, Sonali?
We have programming which is, it's diverse. We have something for different age groups. It's absolutely meant for everybody. We'd have the art component, the theatre component, or there's a Bollywood personality who'd be there. And we have a gala dinner. So that's, more which the adults are drawn to. But you have music, you'll have dance, and we have a family day. That's for families. So you'll have children and adults as well. But it's different strokes for different folks. We believe we have something which everybody can come to.
So what happens on the family day? Tell me a bit more about that.
The family day, well, it's our most exhausting day, to be sure. We had 830 people come in on that day last year. So Asia Society basically opens up its entire space for us. And we have from performances to, dance, music. We've got workshops happening. There's henna happening. And some of the artists who are coming down for the festival for their events, for example, there's Batu Sham who's coming to do an art component. We have a collaboration with Bonham's going. He would be there to do art workshops with the children. So it's something where it's an opportunity not to be missed.
I want to do that art workshop.
And the whole idea of the day, Julie, is to be interactive. So we have, like Sonali was saying, workshops where they dress up as Indians, they take photographs, they have henna, they have tattoos, they paint bags with elephants. And then we have performances through the day. It's basically a festival within a festival. And like she said, exhausting.
It sounds amazing. Do you have an opportunity for, I'm thinking of my students, to work voluntarily in your festival?
We can certainly consider that. We know Asia Society has a volunteer program. So if you are serious, what we can do is, speak to them and get that worked out for you if possible.
I think it would be such an amazing opportunity for the young people to get involved in something like that.
We really encourage schools. We have an outreach program where we send mailers to schools, local and international schools, and say, we even give tickets to some students who can't afford them and say, come for the. I think last year, Sonali, we had a fair component of free tickets.
We had a fair component of free tickets for students. But the other thing that we have, since Lakshmi mentioned outreach, and if you're talking about students in that category, we have a wonderful collaboration this time on theatre. So we have the Hong Kong Youth Arts Foundation and the Yuva Ekta Foundation in India coming together to do physical theatre and puppet theatre workshops. And these are, students can enroll in them. They're for age categories from 10 to 23, 24. We've got that span covered. And it's pro bono. It's part of the outreach that we're doing. And we found wonderful partners in Hong Kong with the Hong Kong YAF and Yuva Ekta, of course.
Wow, that's brilliant. So you've really got big teams of people coming together to create this amazing opportunity for everybody in Hong Kong. Congratulations.
Thank you. In fact, Julie, this is the 4th year and we're really excited about this because apart from Hong Kong Youth Arts Foundation and Lindsay McAllister, who brings her own kind of
She's wonderful,
energy.
Isn't she? We share the same birthday, Lindsay and I.
So she's something else. She came I called her last year because we didn't have props for a play. And one thing led to another, and here we are collaborating. This year we're really excited because, it's our 4th year and people have sort of sat up and people are listening and thinking about the festival. And we have, apart from Lindsay and Hong Kong Youth Arts Foundation, we have the Hong Kong Academy for Performing Arts, their dance school. Their students I think the master students are doing a collaborative performance with an Indian dance team. So we're so excited about that. They're actually designing the dance, the music, and it's a completely original performance. And, really honestly, Julie, that's what the festival's about. It's about going out to Hong Kong, including local people, expats, just getting the whole community involved in this, and we're getting there.
It's truly so exciting. So if young people want to get involved in either your theatre production or the dance production, how can they do that?
Well, we have a website, indiabythebay.com. It's up and running. And there are contact numbers. So we'd be happy to hear from anyone. Our numbers are there. Our email address is there. So anyone who wants to get involved is just welcome to write in.
Wow, that's so brilliant.
We also have a Facebook page. You can leave us messages there.
Great. Do you have people from many cultures attending the festival, or are you hoping that grows?
We do have people from different cultures attending the festival. Of course, they're more where the medium is something that is easily understood. For example, theatre, which is in English, or the music, where there is no language, or dance. But we would like to expand that. That's why we're here, actually, and that's what we'd love to do. We have such a diverse palette of programming, and India has so much that's beautiful and worth seeing, and we'd love it if different cultures came in to see that.
The thing that I notice, I run Diwali Ball at my school, and it's a huge event with hundreds of people coming along, and the celebration is amazing, and everyone gets so dressed up, and they put on their finest salwar kameez or their saris, and the celebration is amazing. Like, it's not something I really experience in my culture, being from Australia. And it's such a joy to be a part of it. And just to have that little experience of Diwali Ball, I can only imagine that your event would be just such a massive celebration and so amazing to be a part of from people from other cultures.
Well, we hope it's that. I mean, and, the feedback we've received has been very, very positive, which is why we're still here and we still have the Asia Society and our consulate supporting us. But what we're basically trying to do, and I think we're succeeding, is just showing people, the range of culture that comes out from India. So we have the truly traditional and we have the hugely cutting edge contemporary. So, when you see India, you don't think just one thing, because honestly, our culture is one part of India doesn't know about the other part of India. We're so vast and our culture is so varied and diverse. So I think we're, now that, we have such great partnership and, working on the sponsorship, which is always welcome, we're able to put that across and bring that to Hong Kong. And we're really proud of it.
So that's one aspect of my next question, which is, why is it so important to celebrate Indian culture in Hong Kong? And that's one aspect, that there's so many diverse cultures within India that they're all getting to learn about each other. But what else?
That's a really interesting question, one we've thought about often. I think in the world today, and I say this personally, but I'm sure I speak for the team, I think that, we need things that unify us. And it's sort of getting to be a kind of fractious world. And I think culture has no boundaries. I think, it just speaks no language and everyone can enjoy it. And I think Asia Society, who we partner with, I think the fundamental philosophy behind them, they're a not-for-profit educational institution, is just this. It's mutual understanding, it's mutual respect, it's breaking boundaries. So I think, culture does that, art and culture does that. And I think the more people understand each other, the easier it is to live with one another.
Absolutely.
So, with that profound thought, but it really is the thought process behind, I think, all teamwork festivals and ours as well.
Absolutely. I mean, if you grew up in India, and I remember doing that, and you celebrate every festival with as much zest and joy. And it's something which I feel that, today it would be lovely if we could all do that together. So to Lakshmi's point, I think she hit it spot on.
I totally agree, and I'm very, very excited. I'm going to come along to some of your events for sure. Does your festival promote mutual understanding between the Indian and the Chinese culture, do you think?
Well, this year, yes, we hope it does. And this year we've made, a conscious effort to go out into the community. We had a fair number of local, Hong Kong Chinese attending the festival last year. But this year with Hong Kong Youth Arts Foundation and with the Academy of Performing Arts, I think that's getting bigger and better. We did also do outreach last year. We went to, I think Sonali can take it from here,
the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, where we had performances there. But what's wonderful and what I see happening and what we saw happening last year, for example, the Bollywood dance event that we have with Jules coming in. He's Vietnamese French. He's lived in India. He's absolutely wonderful. The energy he brings to the dance workshop. There were as many Chinese as there were other cultures in that room. And it was just wonderful. So you have that happening already. And I think we're just building on that. It exists and we're happy to enjoy that with them. It's wonderful.
I think really in Hong Kong we see more and more festivals and music concerts, and the arts is growing in Hong Kong, and people do seem to be embracing it, don't they, from all cultures?
I agree with you. When I came here 20 years ago, which is one of the reasons, I worked really hard to start something like this with teamwork, is that there was very little of that. And I think amongst the expats, they used their holidays to go for plays and theatre. I don't think they thought of it as a be in Hong Kong and, experience high culture, option, which I think is changing with West Kowloon as well. So we're getting there. So, we're excited about that. Another thing I'm going to throw in at this stage when we're talking about, different cultures and Chinese and Indian, what we're doing this year, Julie, and we're so excited about it. We're excited about everything, is we have a big gala dinner with Parsi food, and Parsis are a community that are very, how would I put it? They're very important to Hong Kong, and they were important to the development of Hong Kong in the early stages. Modi Road, the Star Ferry, These are all Parsis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they came from Persia, centuries ago to the west coast of India. And they brought their own culture and their own food habits and integrated it with Indian, food habits. And they have this very special, unique cuisine, which we're presenting this year with a sort of celebrity 26-year-old chef from India.
Oh, brilliant. And is that the opening of your festival, this gala, or?
It is very much the opening for our festival. And I think you'd mentioned the Diwali ball that you had at your school a while back, which was wedding themed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So what we're doing is it's a Lagan Nu Bhonu, a wedding feast, and it's the anchor event. It's the opening event of the festival. And as Lakshmi mentioned, the chef is very young. She's a woman chef in a male-dominated industry.
Love it.
Power to her, and we're looking
Great.
forward to it. It's something I'm sure that anybody who comes to will not forget for a long time to come.
So if people want to go to this gala dinner, how can they join?
So our ticketing is through our partners, which is Asia Society. So either you can get your tickets through Asia Society physically at their center in Admiralty, or you can get them online. And the links are all available on our website or the Asia Society website. And we're going to go into tickets in the first week of January.
I want to go to that too.
Please come for anything, everything.
Oh, so what do you think are some of the key highlight events of the festival, Sonali?
That's actually like asking me which one of my own two children I'd prefer.
Oh, what a great answer.
So I'm torn. So I would say, I'm sort of fond of each and every event, and we have a diverse palette of programming. So we've covered the entire themes from food to dance to theatre to music. We've got, for example, in art, if I can talk about that a little bit, because we've got an artist who's famous for Gond art, which is a tribal form of art in India. We're collaborating with Bonhams for that. So Bhaju Sham is coming in. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. The dinner with Anaita Thondi is, like I said, something which is happening in Hong Kong, probably for the first time. Those are flavors which I don't think you find in Hong Kong restaurants, and there are many of those here. So we've got a plethora of events. We've got in music, we've got Vishwa Mohan Bhatt. He's a Grammy Award winner. So all this on Hong Kong's doorstep, I think you're going to be spoiled for choice.
Wow, you've got some really famous, accomplished people coming to participate in this festival. Good on you guys.
And the other sort of element to our festival, which we hope will also excite Hong Kong, is we've got our author, Shabani Basu, who wrote Victoria and Abdul, the movie that's just been made with Judi Dench. It's a brilliant book. It's a brilliant film. And we're really excited to get her because, it's all about colonialism and, Indians and the Brits. And it's a great book. And we're excited to present that because, Hong Kong and India have a shared history of being colonized. So it's interesting.
Do you think you'll be getting lots of overseas guests coming along for this festival as well? Or do you think it's mainly Hong Kong-based people will be attending?
It's actually difficult to get that metric. So I can't really tell you for sure whether there are people coming from overseas, but it's a diverse lot that comes, but difficult to spot on tell you that there are overseas attendees there.
Sure.
Well, what we do have is Asia Society, our partners, they have a mailing list of thousands. And that's exciting because those thousands that they have, I think 15, 14, I forget how many thousand, are all people who are interested in the arts and interested in knowing more about different regions. So we have a direct hit in terms of sending information out to those people. So, but I think they're primarily Hong Kong based.
Do you have a favourite part? I know this is like picking between your children, but do you have a favourite part of the festival that you're most looking forward to?
Actually not. I think the whole festival. I think, we have a brilliant team that comes in from India. So we have 5 people who come in from Teamwork. Teamwork is an India-based company. So they come in and I think, we work together and it sounds cliched, but we work together really well as a team. And that's one thing I look forward to, working together to make it happen.
Oh, that's nice.
I was going to say the same thing because I think you eat, breathe and live the events and it's difficult to kind of choose one. But the synergy between the team, and it's actually like Lakshmi said, cliched, but they're wonderful to work with. Whether it's Asia Society, whether it's Teamwork Arts or whether it's 3 of us here, it's just a lovely positive energy there.
So tell me how you women became first involved in this and how much time and energy it takes to put something like this together.
So I've, like I said, I've known Sanjoy Roy, the director of Teamwork. He's a friend and I've known the company, they're all friends for over 20 years now. And, I've been doing things with them sort of sporadically over the last 20 years. And again, I have the Paru who's not here, Paru Vora, who's also an integral part of the Hong Kong team. She worked in production in television in India where I worked as well. So I knew her. So when the idea came about, I said, will you help? And she was, I'm on board. So she's a teacher. That's her real job. And then she is on board with the festival. Sonali has a finance background. I'll let her talk about herself. But we basically came together 2 years ago. I said, Sonali, I need a larger team here. And will you jump on board? And she jumped right on. So it was just very sort of organic the way it happened.
Absolutely. Like Lakshmi put it, I have a background in finance, but I've run a business channel from Hong Kong for 2-3 years. And from there, it was, the interaction with media and press. So that's where I came in when we were talking to Lakshmi. I said, happy to take that on. And it's kind of grown from there.
So are you sort of in the publicizing aspect of the...
I think we kind of pull in wherever required. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of, we just kind of work together as a team. But yes, I would take that on as a focus area. So we each have focus areas which we look at. But, the most difficult part being spreading the awareness, getting the sponsors. And you're constantly running. The minute one festival ends, the evening after, you almost, looked at what goes into the next festival for the next year.
So you have to start again straight away, don't you?
We do. We start, it's not that much work. We sort of recalibrate and then we curate the next festival with Teamwork India and Asia Society. And then I think the tempo really builds up around August, September, I would say. And by now we're desperate.
No, you're completely well organised now. So what skills and talents do you each bring to the team, do you think, personally?
Well, I can definitely say Sonali brings organisation because I am not organised and she's very good with, numbers and charts and organising stuff. I think, Paru's wonderful with production and organising and just being general. Have you done your work done? And I'm all over the place.
You're the one that they're reining in.
All over the place.
Yeah. Lakshmi's being extremely polite because she is what keeps it all together. I mean, she's the backbone to the team here. So she's got many things happening at the same time, but it all works.
And so if you were to really think about your areas that you are most challenged by in this kind of thing, what do you think it is?
I think it's raising money for the festival. I think that is our biggest challenge. Nothing else is. And hopefully people are sitting up and listening and realizing that their money is going to a really good production and to change the cultural landscape in Hong Kong. But that is our biggest. And till the last minute, we still are, fighting to cover the cost of the festival. So
if people want to donate or contribute, how can they do that?
Again, there's a link. I mean, we haven't got a specific link for donations, which we should perhaps think of. But I guess writing in and contacting us, our numbers are all over our website, our Facebook page. That would be a good way to do it, I would imagine. But it's something to think of. We might want to have that on our website as well.
That's a good idea. So who inspires you most in your life?
For me, it's not a who, but I think at the point I am, positive energy inspires me. So if it's anybody that I meet and there is that positive energy there, I'm most inspired by that. And that could be a young child or it could be an adult, but that's what I seek in every relationship.
What a great answer.
And I think I'm blessed to have that with the people that I work with here.
Yeah, it makes for a good team, doesn't it? If you've all got that positive energy.
There are no egos. There's just no egos there's no hierarchy. There are no egos. Everyone. I mean, we have this lovely photographer who's a Hong Kong boy who, it's a completely equal team, all of us. So
Hong Kong Confidential is brought to you by Teresa's Turkish Towels. Teresa imports the finest 100% Turkish cotton towels that dry very quickly, making them perfect for Hong Kong's humid climate. Say goodbye to the traditional smelly and stinky towels and try the colourful and fresh selections available online or in Teresa's Wan Chai store. Use the promo code CONFIDENTIAL online or mention this podcast when you visit in person to receive $100 off your entire order when you order 2 or more towels. With 100% satisfaction guaranteed or your money back, the only thing you've got to lose are the musty smells that permeate traditional terry towels. Visit www.hkturkish.com in order to get the address and directions to Teresa's semi-hidden location. Most of what you're doing is based around the arts and creativity. Why do you think creativity is so important in our lives?
Gosh, I think because, with all the information being fed and thrown at you and, everything just accessible with the touch of a button, I think creativity allows you to step back and think for yourself and create for yourself. I mean, when I see this, us as well, but, our kids for sure, everything is just there at a touch. You don't have to think to do anything in many ways. You still have to work hard, but I just think it gives you personally, your self-time, and you can recalibrate in your creative space, whatever that might be, whether it's playing soccer, which is as creative as doing a painting. But I think it's important, to take time away from what's going on in the world.
Yeah, they say that creativity is very good for the soul. So you're providing a week of soul food for people.
Yes, absolutely. And with Parsi food as well. So let's not forget that.
Soul food and Parsi food.
That's right.
So you've mentioned some of the more famous people coming to the festival. Are there any others that you haven't mentioned who are sort of the most famous people that are coming along?
Well, we've got Suni Taraparawala, who's a scriptwriter and photographer. She's written the most amazing film, Salam Bombay. I'm not sure if you've heard that one. That's a brilliant film. And in fact, Sanjoy Roy, our director, I think he's in the board of Salam Bombay Trust in India. So we're getting her. She's written The Namesake, and she's done a tiny film called Little Zizou, which we're showing as well. So she's a famous person, she's brilliant. We're getting her. We're getting a young theatre group, Sonali can tell you about that, called Elephant in a Room.
Yeah, we've got a theatre group coming in called Elephant in the Room. It's a contemporary spin on a play, and that's going to be terribly exciting. It's a solo theatre, so we've got that as well. And we will be having a film personality coming down, and there's a bit of a drum roll as to who that's going to be. We can't reveal that right now, but that's going to be somebody famous as well. And
great! So we love a bit of mystery. That's nice.
I said, typically, our first event, well, this year it's the Gala Dinner, but is this big Bollywood personality who excites, well, primarily the Indian community in Hong Kong, excites us as well. But this year it's a surprise.
Great.
Yeah, we've got that. We've got this brilliant Gond artist. We've got Family Day, and we've got Jules, and we have a drummer. It's called a Nagada. It's a particular kind of drum, and I think he's one of the best in his tradition. He's coming down. He's come every year, and he sort of props up the festival with his sound and music. So he's going to be here as well.
So I guess me asking you which would be the must-see event of the festival would be impossible to answer. Is that right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just everything. You must get to as much of it as you can, because it sounds like it's so diverse and so creative.
I was going to say, it's so diverse. So one day is so unlike the other. So, you get a good sense of, the breadth of stuff that comes out of India.
And, some are workshops, some are things to see. So there's an opportunity to kind of experience it by getting interactive, getting involved. So it's all out there and it's at your doorstep. So I think it's very difficult to not take advantage of that.
So what would be your biggest takeaway from coordinating such a big festival?
Our biggest takeaway is that we should only deal with people who have no egos. And we manage that the minute we have someone because I think it changes the energy of the event, and especially because they're just the three of us here. We have a brilliant team in India, and I think at some points we've got involved, but we've quickly extricated ourselves. So we've kept ourselves to a wonderful team that we look forward to working with.
So you're really about the energy and the connection you have with the people you're working with to make it a success.
The only thing I'd like to add to that is, for me, it was also dignity of labor. And that's a message we try and send out to children as well. There's no job too big or small to take on. So what needs to be done needs to be done. Get on with it, do it, and move on.
I love that. Dignity of labor. Just get on board, do whatever needs to be done. No job is too big or too small, and everybody should pull their weight.
Which translates into, if you want to be a fly on the wall on Family Day, we're sweeping the floors, we're dusting, we're cleaning, all of us together as a team from, every age group, size and shape, and we just do it all. So there's no one job for anyone.
And I think that's very true when you're running any event. You've got to be able to do, whether it's run and get the lunch for everybody or look after the celebrities, you've got to be able to do everything, don't you?
Absolutely. There's no one job or putting the blame on anyone. Every job is for everyone.
What do you think your greatest stumbling block or your greatest hurdle has been? I know that you mentioned the finance and raising sponsorship, but what about from a coordination, organisational level, or working together as a team?
Working together as a team, nothing at all. But the other thing that, we need to figure out how to do, I wouldn't say better, we're trying very hard, is get out to the local community, because we really do want to involve the local community. And something that we're trying this year is translating, which we haven't done in the past, is translating all our promotional material into Chinese and trying to do that. So we're working on that. And that, I think, is something we really need to put more mental resources into and see how best to manage that.
I would agree with that. The other thing is, I think, people tend to consume, or their awareness levels are Earlier it was print. Now people are moving towards the digital medium. So for us, it was this whole understanding of, yes, people are, hearing about events through Facebook perhaps. So taking the festival to that point where we are reaching out to those people, whether it's the local Chinese or others through that. The other thing, and I say this lightly, but our festival usually comes after Christmas and you have the New Year here. And Hong Kong goes a little bit into sleep mode. So for us, in terms of coordination, that becomes a challenge because that's the busiest time for us. We've got the festival right around the corner.
Yes, so getting people mobilised can be a bit difficult after the celebrations.
It is. Even during the celebrations, we're working as we speak and a lot of people are on holidays. So it's tough to get out there.
And are you using social media as a platform to advertise?
This is the first year we have in the past, but now we have an agency and we're hoping it works really well. We have a lovely agency called Print Plus that does it, and we're basically working on putting it out on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. We have a full digital agency in India which manages the look of the festival across the 24 festivals. So the agency we have here also works with them very closely to make sure that, and with us, to make sure that we maintain a sort of uniform look and style and projection.
I think it's quite amazing how powerful social media can be. I think you could get a lot of traction from...
Much more than we actually realised.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. What have you learnt about yourself by working on India by the Bay?
That we can work really well with different people. And I think what's been really interesting for me personally is in Hong Kong, the festival has given me an opportunity to meet people like Lindsay and the head of the Hong Kong Literary Festival. And I've just met so many interesting people who have been so supportive. I have to say that once you get out there and people realize that you're serious about what you do, the support is unending.
Isn't it incredible? I'm feeling the same thing related to this podcast. And it's just so wonderful to meet people like yourselves and Nerja and Deepa from Plus Group International, who I interviewed early in my podcasting career. And it is really good for the soul and for your own personal development to meet all these amazing people and be inspired by what they're doing, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think, like you said earlier on, Julie, is that a lot of this is actually happening now, culture, with the West Kowloon, with Clockenflap, with, venues opening up. Because in Hong Kong, the biggest problem is venues. There aren't very many. And about this time of year, the Hong Kong Arts Festival, which is brilliant. It's an annual, I think it's the 45th year or something, or maybe more. A lot of venues get taken up a year in advance. So I think that's changing and, people are sitting up and creating more things around what they have.
So has that been a challenge for you, finding venues for all your events?
Well, we've been lucky because we have Asia Society as partners. But yes, if we do want to grow out of, have them as partners and use other venues as well, we're working towards that with their support. But yes, it is difficult.
And Sonali, what have you learnt about yourself working on India by the Bay?
I think for me, it's been a very enriching journey personally because, I spent my life on the asset side of the balance sheet of a bank. This is a completely new space, and creativity it's just something which I've come across the most wonderful people. It's a totally different world. I'm learning a lot. So it's a journey of learning for me, and it's great to be doing that at this age.
So how can people find out more about India by the Bay?
Well, we have all the information and our events on our website, which is indiabythebay.com. We have it as well on Facebook. You can go to Asia Society's page online. You can hear about that. And I hope that you'll be seeing, we've got hoardings up at the Discovery Bay Pier, at the Central Pier. We'll have, our wonderful partners. The Indian Consulate has also been sort of sending news out. But yes, the best way to do it at the click of a button is through our website or through our Facebook page or through Asia Society.
Lakshmi and Sonali, thank you so much for meeting with me today and talking to me about India by the Bay. It sounds like a brilliant festival, and Hong Kong are really, really lucky to have you ladies and Paru on board to organise it. Thank you so much for doing that, because I just think it's so great to have art and culture and diversity and all of that being celebrated in Hong Kong. And I look forward to seeing you at the festival.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And as with every interaction, we feel our family's grown. So thanks for having us here. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome. India by the Bay is a festival of India in Hong Kong from the 2nd to the 9th of February 2018. For more information and ticket bookings, please go to asiasociety.org/Hong-Kong. So that brings us to the end of another Hong Kong Confidential podcast. I'm Jules Hannaford. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you'll be with me again next week. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please can you go to iTunes to rate and review it. I would really appreciate your feedback. You can email me at jules@hongkongconfidential.net, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Hong Kong Confidential. If you'd like to hit me up on Twitter, it's at Jules Hannaford. I would love to hear from you.